Let's talk about the truth of the source of Oscar De La Hoya's power. Now, Oscar De La Hoya came in the game and was guided and protected by Bob Arum. But he has done so many things, being the golden face and the golden boy of boxing, and to have this dark streak and this dark cloud. It had been going on for years. And for some reason, it was always swept under the rug. I mean, Michael Jackson was all through the courts and put on television where you never saw an arrest record for Oscar De La Hoya. A guy who was accused of rape numerous of times. The most devastating one was the alleged rape of the 15-year-old girl from Cabo St. Lucia, in Mexico in '96. And he opted, instead of having his name drugged through court cases and everything else, to pay money to settle it outside of the courts. And lucky for him, Bob Arum was around to get everything done for him. Then he comes back and attacks Bob Arum, who'd been protecting him. And he's got kids, 3 different kids with 3 different baby mothers at the time. He had 2 girls he invited over to his house who didn't want to leave and accused him of trying to rape them. So, I mean, Oscar had a time on his hands early on. But it goes a little deeper than that. Oscar De La Hoya actually had pictures of himself and drag and everything else. We've all known and seen them, and actually went to court, and they actually went to Supreme Court, where a professional actually went on the stand and said that the pictures were fake. In a Supreme Court, this happened, and deemed that the pictures of Oscar De La Hoya were photoshopped. And 2 years later, he comes out and admit that those pictures were real. So how did the Supreme Court expert get that wrong? Let's go back to that. Because that's a little out of Bob Arum's range, isn't it? We know Bob is a powerful man, but that's a little bit out of his range. Supreme Court? Where's all this power coming from? How is he so protected? Well, if you want to do that, you got to go back to the introduction of Oscar De La Hoya and the Nevada Democrat Senate, Harry Reid. Since 1998, Harry Reid made that case disappear. Made a lot of things disappear for Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was allegedly busted for cocaine and being under the influence and out of his mind in, like, I believe 2000 or 2001. There was no arrest record. There wasn't anything done. They cleaned him up, got him back home, It was taken care of. Bob Arum introduced Oscar De La Hoya to Harry Reid. Harry Reid is a former boxer and a former judge. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's a judge who sat ringside for the Nevada State Athletic Committee, who decided to run for office and leave his position as a judge to run for Senate. And during his re-election, he used Oscar De La Hoya to help him campaign to get the Latin votes to help keep him in office. Good old Harry. And in return, Oscar showed his true loyalty. And he even tried to get Oscar to move to Las Vegas so Oscar could run for office. He wanted Oscar to become a politician. Now, Harry did business with the mob and other people, allegedly. He's in the top 10 most corrupted senators. He's in the top 10. That's Harry Reid. I'm not making that up. There's a list called Top 10 Most Corrupt Politicians. He's in there. So it's not me calling him that. Now, this guy has had his nose in a lot of different things, and he even retired this year because of an investigation that's about to land him in prison. Now, let's go back to how his relationship with Oscar De La Hoya seemed to be a little weird as far as all the power and all these cases are concerned. The rape case gets settled out of court once he meets Harry. All the other cases disappear. There's no Oscar going to court for anything. Then you have Oscar De La Hoya's crazy decision over Felix Stern, a fight he clearly lost, to get to Bernard Hopkins. It was ridiculous. And we've seen a lot of different situations with Oscar. The Bernard Hopkins fight didn't seem right. Then, of course, we have to go to the other side of the coin. Floyd Mayweather fight with Oscar De La Hoya. All the judges had the fight going in the right direction. Then there's Tom Charismatic, a guy who haven't judged in Las Vegas but once in his 20-something years as a referee on the East Coast. The only time he was there was for Winky Wright and Shane Mosley, and now he's back for the biggest fight in boxing. 3 years apart. You grab this judge. How did he get the assignment? Who would put him there when he's an East Coast judge? Spent the majority of his time on the East Coast. This is his first West Coast refereeing gig in over 3 years. What are you doing? Why is he getting this assignment? And shortly after that, his retirement was inevitable. He worked about another year, and then Tom Charismatic ended up retired from the sport altogether. There are tons of questions that Bob Bennett will have to answer when this is all said and done, because they just placed him there. Keith Kaiser got out at the right time. He was good at putting out fires. He was good at being a face. that could be out there and speak to the public. Bob Bennett looks like a deer lost in headlights, and he's inherited something that's going to stress the rest of his hair out, whatever little bit he has left on his head. It can't be that hard to assign judges to a match. It can't be that hard to make sure that the professional sport doesn't lose its integrity in the process. We all know Vegas is mobbed up. That's nothing new. Okay, we can't blame Oscar De La Hoya for the mob, but we do hold him responsible because he is the face of his promotional company and his ties with politicians who used to be part of the Nevada State Athletic Committee. To me, it's collusion. And I might repeat myself, but it needs to be repeated because this is the stuff that's not being told. You might hear things that Oscar De La Hoya that you would never believe. But now it's on the table because all of this stuff was getting dug up because they never fixed the problem. They just put dirt over it. When you don't fix something and just cover it up with dirt, it's still there. You just covered it up with dirt. But what happens when it resurfaces? The dirt gets blown away. And the problem and the issue is right there in front of you. And you think, man, I put so much dirt on it. But over time, that dirt blows away little by little. And it all comes up and it's right there in front of you. You got to deal with it. Oscar, when his mom died, had no outlet. He didn't know how to deal with that. He couldn't take loss that well. He had a pet that died and it killed him. It defeated him and he was hurt by the pet dying. He was hurt by his mother's death. He's not good at accepting these things, and his father was who he turned to for emotional support and stability, and all he got was this tough stone wall to shake it off, boy, and get out there and get to work. You know, you got to go to the Olympics, you got to do this, you got to do that, go to work. You know, this was it. This is what was carrying him. It was politics that got him the gold medal. Oscar was losing in the fight. And they called a punch, a 10-8 punch, just so Oscar De La Hoya can get advanced to the final round, the final bout, to go and win the gold medal because he had the story. The mother with cancer who died, who got him here. He was the golden boy. This has been his legacy. Someone's always giving him a leg up. Have Oscar been favorable with African Americans? People say, oh, well, look at Shane Mosley and Bernard Hopkins. They love Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya does not have black friends. Okay? He have people he do business with them, African American. But do he have black friends? No. He doesn't. This has been told to me by people in his organization. He don't have black friends. But he view the people that he work with as friends. You see what I'm saying? You're friends, but you'll never be in my house. He doesn't. He grew up in East LA, where most of the Latinos there had a problem with a lot of the blacks there. And the closest they ever got to the blacks is the crack houses that was near their neighborhood, which have normally black and Latino crackheads living in this crack house, and they all worn out. So he just looked at him in disgust. So Oscar grew up with all of this anxiety of looking down on African Americans when he was growing up. Shane Mosley was from Pomona. Mostly grew up with a lot of different ethnics. Normally, he grew up around whites, did all the things whites did, so he hung out with more whites than blacks, So he was safe. Bernard Hopkins is the kind of guy who can light up a room with his personality. He needed to have that with him, and hopefully Bernard can get Philly and all those guys to support Golden Boy Promotions. But Golden Boy Promotions, they don't hire any African Americans. You know any African Americans working with them? No, they work with Al Heyman, who had their own group, and that was bringing in the African American dollar. Nobody was African American was dealing with them. It was all white and Latino. That's it. And these are the things they don't discuss. They do not bring this up when it comes to the racial line that was in Golden Boy Promotions. There have been plenty of people that signed up for jobs for Golden Boy Promotion and was turned down because of the fact they were black. Now, people are going to say, who told you that? Who told you this? Oscar, man, Oscar Delahoya does not like blacks. Apparently. That's what it appears to be. He do not consort with black people. Except for the people he work with. That's it. They said this video gonna get flagged. It might. I don't care. This needs to be told. These are the things that have been going on behind the scenes that need to be brought out to the light. So when Oscar started to lose and he wasn't fighting anymore, he was the all-time promoter. He didn't have that pull in the Latino community like he used to when he was in the ring fighting. Harry Reid was getting ready to lose the election. Who did he turn to? Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao became his salvation. Through the Pacquiao rise, the Filipinos in the United States, who was in Las Vegas, came out to support him. Pacquiao was a politician now. Bob Arum was right there with him. Introduced him to Harry Reid, and Harry Reid, he did him a favor, went over there and got Pacquiao to help get him in the office. And then in return, like I said, he went to the White House, met President Obama, and anything about what they needed to do, the lawsuit for slander and all of this stuff, how was this pushed through? Floyd Mayweather never went publicly and said he did anything. He never said he took a drug. How did he defamate his character? They defamate Floyd Mayweather's character every day on ESPN. Where's his lawsuit? Posting inaccurate information, lying on Floyd Mayweather. Where did this source come from? It's a lot of BS in this sport, man. Pacquiao lost to Bradley. Not because Bradley won the fight and he landed this jab, he caught this punch, and the judges saw. It's not the reason he lost the fight. If that was the case, Marquez would have beat Pacquiao in fight number 3. It's not the point. The reason why Timothy Bradley won the fight is because Manny Pacquiao defamed and downed homosexuality, called it a sin, and to God and said that the homosexuals were going to hell. Once he said that, they felt, we created this monster, now we have to take him apart. The politicians who happen to be homosexual, who are hiding it in office, they decided to send a message to Mr. Pacquiao. The reason why is because Manny had a chance to go out there and apologize, and he didn't want to do it. He just said he wouldn't say anything else about homosexuals, but he wouldn't apologize for his statement. And because he did that, they showed him their power and gave him a loss. So, there you have it. Pacquiao loses. People are shocked. He was humble. And then he saw where the power lies. Now that the foul stench of Harry Reid is gone, out of office, maybe, things can go back to the way they used to be. Or will they get another corrupt senator in office to, do the same thing? Who knows? See, Reid has sons who own real estate land deals in Nevada. Okay, and they had their influence in the game too, working around with mobsters and making deals and extorting people out of their properties, and that's why they had the worst housing economic crash, in probably history, and that everybody in Las Vegas was bankrupt. So ex-Senator Harry Reid had a large part of that with the real estate scandal. Allegedly. They would put these people in these houses, steal the houses from them, then say, you know what, you can't afford to pay the bank, you're going to foreclose on the house. Sign this, we'll pay you $200,000, or what they give them is $30,000. The house, and it's like the house will be written over to them instead of the bank, and then they will say, well, you can pay us rent to stay in your house. Either that or the bank is going to put you out. What do you want to do? It's one of the oldest tricks in the game. Now you got a house that you can let them live in, but you now own it for $30,000. A $200,000 house you just bought for $30,000 because they just signed it over to you. So now it's a new owner. She's going to pay rent on it to make sure that you keep it, so you don't have to pay anything on the house now. And it just cost you like 30 grand. These kind of investments been going on, and it helped bankrupt, and eventually you evict them, build it up, sell the house back to the bank for its original value, or even bigger. So, one day people will figure it all out. Needless to say, the housing market became a cesspool of unemployment. Houses was broken in, and all the special things out of them were taken out, like refrigerators, heaters, the air cooling systems, and resold black market. Those things are worth about $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 each, and people kind of doing jobs like ripping those off. They're making a lot of money. So it's an old real estate game that's criminal, and it was going on a lot in Nevada. Then they go get these different projects to get involved, but we're getting off track. That's for another time. But scumbags like ex-Senator Reid is the reason why Floyd Mayweather went to jail. Allegedly. See, the thing is, Harry Reid and his powers to be thought that they can make the fight happen with Manny Pacquiao is by sending a message to Floyd Mayweather. He was having too much freedom to do what it is that he wanted to do. And by him and 50 Cent coming out publicly attacking Manny Pacquiao, saying, let's make the fight, let's make the fight, let's make the fight. Me and you, let's get the fight going. Come on, Manny, you scared. Let's make the fight. We got to get this fight going. Me and you, Manny. And Floyd was pushing to make the fight happen. And then they were going to make a negotiation, and Floyd and his team didn't like that they were being dictated the terms to, and they weren't going to go with Miguel Cotto. And it was really Arum that wasn't trying to make the fight happen, and Reed wanted to see the fight happen because it's be a great political push for him. And once he started to hear that this isn't going to happen, and this case for domestic abuse and anything with Floyd, he felt Floyd needed to have some motivation or a reason for the fight. And as long as Floyd was making all this money fighting other people, there would be no incentive for him to have to make the fight. So anything with the security guards at his house, to his baby mother situation, everything was escalated and blown out of proportion to stress Floyd Mayweather and give him problems. They were harassing him while he was in the hotel. When would a high-profile celebrity ever be harassed gambling in a hotel, saying, we're here to bring you in for your arrest. You got a warrant for your arrest, and we got to bring you in. They had these fake guys come up with these stories saying Floyd hit him and he touched me here, and look at this, I got a mark. Floyd punched his finger right there in my throat, and I want to file charges. They were doing everything they could to try to get at Floyd Mayweather, to make him uncomfortable, make him think he needed to do the fight. And they said, well, if we put him in jail, he's going to get out. He's going to be so panic-driven because he's going to be gone. He's going to come into the fight with Manny Pacquiao. We got him. They weren't going to send him away for years. Let him do a couple of months in jail. He'll get the picture. He'll start to come around. And they thought they could derail the Miguel Cotto fight. But the judge allowed that the fight would take place because the city needed it. Due to them being almost bankrupt, and all the money that Floyd Mayweather fights generates trumped what the senator plans for Floyd Mayweather was. Allegedly. Now, all of this in this video is all speculation. We just made all this up out of our heads. None of this exists. I don't even know Senator Harry Reid. I just made all these words up just for y'all entertainment. So, y'all have a great day, and I'm out. Follow the playlist, True Sports Beefs, because this will definitely be in there, and we have a lot more coming.